What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I have a super interesting video for you guys today, and just a topic that I feel like needs to be addressed, and that is going to be engine issues on 19 and up Ram trucks. This would be a really hard reason for me to want to buy a 19 and up Cummins truck, guys. I'll be able to show you guys this, but they're scoring all over this push rod. Guys, we just got our D&J precision machine. 19 plus heavy hauler long block dropped off. These things are notorious for having lifter issues, and we have two trucks in the shop right now. One of them is really bad, one of them is not so bad. We're gonna go over what you can do to prevent these issues and what actually causes them. So this truck here, you guys can see, this is a 19 5500 truck with the 6.7 liter Cummins, and it has the hydraulic roller lifter setup. You're gonna be able to notice these issues. It kind of comes on slowly, but the truck will start tapping when it's cold, and then as it warms up, it will gradually go away. I've done these on trucks with as little as 40,000 miles, and this one has about 170,000 on it. But this one actually got really bad, and we're gonna go over what happened on it real quick. Engine actually has a spun rod bearing. If I can find it here, here's the engine that came out of the truck, and the number 4 rod bearing spun. So it had a severe knock. Our best guess right now on why this happened is because of all of the trash that was created from all of the lifters. We actually have an oil filter off of this engine that I've been draining for about a week that we're going to cut open here in a little bit just to see. But the customer's overall complaint was this. These 19 and up engines have a hydraulic roller lifter in them, and I don't know if we have any out. I think they're all in the engine, but I'll pop a photo up here. It's a hydraulic lifter, so oil pumps it up and you don't adjust the valves. As you can see, guys, on the later Cummins engines, on the earlier Cummins engines, you actually will go in and adjust your valve lash. But on these later model engines, you do not. So you can see the damage as easy as, like, to get to it, you can see it as easy as just pulling the push rods out of the engines usually. As essentially it's like this. So you have a hydraulic roller lifter right here. It pushes up on the push rod. It's filled with oil, and it self-adjusts the valves. It pushes up on the rocker. But the problem is those will fail, and this will have slop in it, and it'll get all beat up, and the ball on this push rod will actually get damaged. Then you'll see damage on the rocker bridge as well. You can see that's all worn out and scored up. If it's not addressed early enough, it will eventually take the camshaft out. They will run for a while like this, but definitely keep a good oil in the truck. One of the most common causes to see this failure is going to be the wrong use of oil. So these engines call for 5W40. Pretty much every other diesel engine in a pickup truck calls for 1540. But the old school guys that are servicing these trucks, they probably don't even stop to look, and they just put 1540 in it. Well, that thicker oil makes it harder for that lifter to pump up, and eventually it gets damaged. It'll tear the roller up, and you'll see issues like this where the push rods get galled up. This truck has 170,000 miles on it. It is a full-blown work truck, has literally all kinds of equipment on it, and it's just not really realistic for him to just replace the truck. This truck is still worth a lot of money, so it needed to be fixed. So we are putting an engine in it, and our good buddies over at D&J Precision Machine are actually sending us, we should have it tomorrow, a heavy hauler long block. So we're gonna go over the details of that when it shows up, but just to kind of bring you guys up to speed, that's what's going on with all this. High mileage, multiple lifter failure, rod bearing. This thing needs a motor. So without further ado, we will touch base on that engine when it gets in. We should have it here at the shop tomorrow. We also have another 19 Ram in the shop with the same issue, except this one was not near as bad, and it didn't end up needing a whole motor. We're actually able to just go in and put new lifters in it. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the kit. Bailey is buttoning it up right now. Obviously the engine is going back together in the truck, but I'll show you guys some of the damage on this one. And this one had more push rod damage than the other engine. But like I said, the customer had replaced them on that engine. Let me find one that's scored up real good. Okay. So if you're gonna experience a lifter issue, and you wanna know which one it is just for fun, if you see a push rod that looks like that, that's probably, let's go ahead and go over here. It's probably a pretty good sign that that's what you have going on. So I had to really get the camera to sit down and focus to be able to show you guys this, but they're scoring all over this push rod, and it is completely worn out. That is not usable. Something that is super interesting about the 19 and up Cummins engines is they're actually not technically owned by Cummins when they're in a Dodge pickup truck. It's a private labeled Chrysler product. So when it comes to any part on this engine, and let me tell you guys, there's tons of differences, like the water pump, for instance. Anything on this engine you have to go to Chrysler to get, and that's just so that way obviously they can make their money on it. They paid to private label it, and it's their engine. So that part of it does suck, especially for a consumer that is trying to buy aftermarket parts online, or not even if you wanted to buy OEM parts online. You're not gonna be able to buy anything for this engine from Cummins, which sucks. So essentially what we did on this truck was pulled the engine, flipped it over, pulled the pan off, inspected all the rollers, inspected the camshaft, converted it over to a solid lifter roller conversion, and basically reassembled everything with OEM gaskets, specs, everything like it never happened. It does now have adjustable valves, so you will have to, we've already set the valves, but you have to go in and adjust the valves. That's perfect. Perfect.
Where you need her at?
You can just pull it right in here, honestly, right in this lift bay.
What's the order for?
For that 5500 there,
So it's
2019 Cummins.
Cummins.
Yeah.
Sign right here, green, and here. I have a Duramax.
Oh, okay.
I had an 01, but they wanted $5,000 to replace the injectors.
Yeah, and it's more than often you're replacing them, it seems.
And the thing about it is it had 270,000 miles on it.
Our 19 plus heavy hauler long block dropped off from D&J Precision Machine. It was super fast getting this thing. I mean, we literally just placed the order last week, and it's already here in the shop, and we're about to stuff it in this 19 Ram. We have it's a customer truck, brought it in with a spun rod bearing. It had multiple lifter failures, spun rod bearing. It's about 180,000 miles, and for what they're doing with the truck, we basically decided that a D&J long block was going to be our best option. Not only that, there's really not a lot of other options out there. All right, guys, I'm just going to go through some of the finer details here of this engine. I'm literally just reading right off of D&J's website, but it's a complete engine from oil pan, rear crank seal, front cover, crank seal, oil filter housing. This does have a stage 1 cylinder head on it, a street/tow camshaft. They say that will result in about a 200 to 300 degree EGT drop. It's actually rated for 700 horsepower. To address a lot of the common issues that were found in the 19 and plus engines, they're using mostly components from the 18 and older 6.7 platform. They replaced the hydraulic roller lifter setup to a solid flat tappet with adjustable rockers, which we already showed you guys that. You have, whether it's a 19 or 20 or 21 through 24, they will make that timing cover work on the older block. So that's where they come in and are able to make this happen, putting the older engine in, because the timing cover is different. So it has a timing cover off of a 19, but it's on it's off of an older engine. Besides that, guys, it just basically goes through a detailed inspection, crack check, cleaning, they blast everything. It's got 9/16 head studs in it. Go in and bore the block out to accept the larger head stud. Like I said, to already touch on that again, it's got the stage 1 head, it's blueprinted and balanced, it's pre-lubed and painted, so it's already got break-in oil and an oil filter on it.
Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
All right. Alright guys, we have the initial break-in done on the engine. We're going to be doing an oil change. The DJ engine's come pre-filled with 20W50 racing oil with a filter already on it. So we're going to go ahead and do oil change. The OEM Cummins filter and some Schaefer's 1540. First truck that we fixed, we just did the solid lifter conversion. In this truck, we ended up having to put a whole engine in it, and definitely a major price change in those two repairs. I would say ultimately what I think we can all take away from this is, if your 5th generation Dodge Ram is tapping, address it before it gets worse, and it's really going to save you a ton of money. So without further ado, that's going to wrap up the end of this video. Be sure you guys are liked, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think. If you guys are trying to do stuff on your own diesel truck, work on it. Best place to get parts is Truckmaster Diesel. We are teamed up with Josh at Truckmaster and helping him develop a very user-friendly, truck website that you can buy all kinds of diesel parts for, guys. It's changing daily. We're constantly adding new products. There's actually a giveaway going on right now for a scanner. Every dollar that you spend on the website is going to get you 1 entry to win a very expensive diagnostic scanner, which is something you absolutely need if you're working on trucks this new and trying to diagnose them and get them fixed correctly. I'm going to link that below as well. Be sure you guys go check that out. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys on the next video.